Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boy Mo and your girl Polly, and this is the Supercast where we talk about all things in our pop culture media, and that's video games, movies, TV shows. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all of that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, the live stream today, you know what to do. Get down there, hit like on the video or on the stream. And, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel. Show us some love. So, hey, it's the superhero summer. I keep saying it every week. It is the superhero summer. And the end of the superhero summer is very sad that it's coming to an end. But, hey, it's coming to an end with a bang. James Gunn was like, hey, Superman was fired, but here's my real thing. He asked us once again, do we want to taste it, with Peacemaker dropping yesterday. So, of course, we are going to talk about that, the first episode that's come out. Polly, first of all, how you doing today? What's going on
I'm doing great. Doing great. I'm pretty much doing nothing though.
Well,
enjoying the end of the superhero summer and probably the beginning of the superhero fall.
Yeah, because Gen V is going to be dropping in September, so it is going to kick off the fall.
Oh yeah.
For all things superhero.
And then there's going to be Marvel Zombies and probably a lot of other stuff, a lot of stuff going on in the comics. So
exactly, like it's the superhero train. It just doesn't stop. That's what we're trying to say.
We're not going to starve.
Yeah. It's it's definitely a moment, especially in this weird time when people are like, oh, superhero hype is over, and like, superhero fatigue and all that other stuff. I don't know about all that.
But it's never over for us.
No, it's not. Like the real ones know. The real ones definitely.
If you've been around for like 10 years and you've been a fan for 10 years, I mean, it's pretty much for life, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So, but it's been a good week, I think, for nerd stuff. I don't know what you've been doing that's nerdy.
Mostly reading, watching everything that came out. Like I did watch Peacemaker, of course. I actually did it today because, well, time difference. But other than that, I've been reading a lot. Finally, I have the time to read everything.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
So I mean, you look at you reading. I swear I'm wasting my Marvel Unlimited yearly subscription. I really am.
That is one of the things. Is one of the things that makes me. It kind of forces me to read as much as I can, because like I didn't pay for nothing. I mean, I better get my money's worth out of it. And part of me is happy that DC. Similar app for DC is not available here, because I would pay for that and I would have to read twice as much.
Right. It is a real trade. Being a nerd in this day and age, it's a real trade-off. If you're as old as I am and you remember the bad old days, you didn't like. Do you remember the day? I don't know if you bought physical comics when you were younger, but like you just read the same one over and over again because you didn't have more. That's the way I was. Now it's just there's so much you don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah, you can't read everything, but you're just still trying, and you're still trying to read as much as you can, and like discovering everything, old runs, newer runs, like read throughs. That's all so much fun, actually.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. You get a lot of stuff, but man, you gotta pick your spots, like, because I bought all those bargain comics or trade paperbacks. I've read one of them, and I'm only halfway through it. Because I have Marvel Unlimited, I gotta use that. I'll have those forever. I'm just
but then you sometimes you just buy a trade and it's kind of out of context, because I remember then I bought this Night Terrors book, which was a part of the Nightwing run. Right. And I read it out of context, and I was like, and this is one of the stories where he loses his memory after he was shot, and he lost his memory, and he wasn't even himself in that book.
Right.
And I'm like, that was my everything I knew about the character kind of came from that book at that point. And then I read the run in context, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, that's
So
so.
yeah, that's
So in other words, you read comics like
complicated.
most kids read comics. They just see a random ass issue,
Yeah,
and then it's just like
like like seeing an episode on TV and then becoming a fan of the show, but not knowing what came before or after.
right. Again, I
It's
showing
nostalgic,
my age. The kids nowadays, they can just get on the internet and find out. You just had when back in the 80s and
right?
90s, you just had to fucking run with it. I don't know what this. I'll find out eventually, I guess. I don't know. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um
I mean, the best you can hope for is the previously on,
yeah, maybe they'll recap it.
but don't count on that.
Yeah. um Speaking of comics, I did a good deed this week, or well, I guess it was a few weeks ago. I posted this on Threads, but parents or aunts and uncles, whatever, it's your job to help Gen Z get into comic books. I'm just gonna say I'm putting this responsibility onto you because I put it onto myself. Uh, I did a good deed. I got my daughter to fall in love with the Runaways, Marvel's Runaways. I
Hmm.
Look. I'm not saying I'm
A
the
book
best
or
at
a
it.
show?
The book, not the show. The book.
Hmm.
So I had volume one of the Runaways for a while. I bought it at a thrift store for a while, and I was like, she had been talking about wanting to, she really loves the Power Pack digest that they used to put out back in the early 2000s. She inherited them from me. She really loves those. She really loves the Franklin Richards Son of a Genius comics. I think I mentioned this before. Again, inherited them from me. Um, and so she loves those. She also like really. I used to just give her all sorts of like comic book stuff like for young readers. Like there was one where as a DC one where I forget what it's called, but where it was like Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman were like kids going to like a Hogwarts type boarding school or something like
Oh,
that. I forget what it's called. So basically I've been like a little bit just getting her to it, and then I gave her Runaways, and she's like, Dad, it was great. I need more of this, so I'm gonna give her my Marvel Unlimited account.
look, look. There is like, first of all, yes, absolutely. This is a brilliant deed. I mean, she has to get her own account eventually because, like, you know. But it's a good investment. I mean, you paid for it and you don't read
Yeah, I mean, well,
it,
somebody
so
should read
might
it.
as well.
Yeah.
Might as well share. But for real though, there are so many cool books that like written for young adults, for like
Mm-hmm.
teenagers, for kids. Uh, so yeah,
I'm hoping young. Yeah,
everyone should give, if they know a kid, if
yeah,
they know anyone who has a kid, everyone should give them a comic book.
yeah.
That's
Like,
how it works.
they're all sorts of ages and stuff. Like it, we just we're not doing our job. We got to get them into it. I think the MCU and even the DCEU and they've kind of positioned the culture to get into comic books, and we just haven't been pointing them. We haven't been making it cool to read comics. But I think honestly, I think Superman has really kind of, and even Fantastic Four, are kind of turning that corner where it's actually kind of cool to read comics because they are so in line with what the actual comic books are about. And you even have James Gunn, who is a big advocate for the comics, who are pointing people to these things. So we just got to do our part. These young people, they're not going to pick up comic books, on their own. They need to know why it's cool. So I did that. Also, I got my little list of nerdy things I did this week. Uh, I'm catching up on Twisted Metal season 2, which is great. Twisted Metal season 2 is so damn good. If you guys like Madison from She-Hulk, and if you don't, first of all, if you don't like Madison from She-Hulk, we're not gonna be friends. We'll never see eye to eye on anything because you're wrong. But Patty Guggenheim is the actor that plays Madison. She plays a character called Raven in Twisted Metal season 2. She's great. She looks awesome, being just like she's basically a villain of sorts, but not the villain. She's very cool in it. So Twisted Metal season 2 is really great. I started watching Washington Black, which is kind of an alt history thing about a slave who is also kind of a genius, and he's on the run from slave catchers, but also he goes on some like steampunky adventures. That's really cool on Hulu. I gotta actually uh, get to the end of that. Scavenger's Reign. Did you ever catch that on Max? It's an animated thing
Mhm.
on HBO Max. It's about, I guess, colonists who get stranded on this planet that's like really weird and alien, and like how they're trying to like survive. It's really trippy and cool. I think Lottie, he told me about it last year, and he's like, it's awesome. And I just finally watched an episode, and I was like, it is awesome. So, and also it reminds me that David Zaslav sucks because he doesn't like animation. He thinks animation isn't worth investing in. Well, fuck off. This show is awesome. And then I went to the movie and saw Honey Don't, and I saw Relay. Both are really pretty good movies. They're not. Look, you could probably wait for streaming for both of them, but if you want to go to the theater, go see them. I think Honey Don't's really cool. Like, do you? I don't remember what I've seen Margaret Qualley in. I've seen her in something. I don't remember what. Was she in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? She might have been in. I think she may have been in that
No.
as one of the one of the Manson
Probably there was
cult
like a
members.
bunch of
Yeah,
yeah, there was a bunch of people there,
but
famous,
I
some of
don't
them.
I don't really. I've seen her and stuff. I don't remember, but like she's really good in this. Like she's really good, and also I feel like Honey Don't is like a feature for her, and I mean she's the lead, but I mean like it's like whoever wrote it or whoever was directing it, they were like, this woman's beautiful and talented as hell, and I'm just gonna make sure that every frame with her in it shows that. And I was like, okay, well, why are y'all trying to make me just like have a thing for her? Because I don't even like it's weird because like we're in a time where the male gaze is kind of like not the thing to do, and in a way this is part male gaze, but also is sort of subverting it too. She's great. She's really good, and like she's really good as the character. She looks cool and stylish as kind of like this private investigator, and like this, is she, it's in like Bakersfield or something, California. So it's not even like there's nothing glamorous about it, and yet she's just glamming up the whole scene. It's hard to call, but like I liked it a lot. And also Aubrey Plaza's in it. She's pretty damn good in it too. Chris Evans is in it. He's just like he's so over the top. I think it's a good movie. You guys should check it out. So anyway, that's a that's a lot of stuff going on this week. But this is a supercast. We are going to talk about the superhero movie, movie, TV show, video game news of the week. So part of that is going to be we're going to very briefly talk about this new trailer for uh, an announcement for a new Lego Batman game, which was really cool. But also that kind of snuck in at the last minute. I totally forgot about it, so that's just a sort of an unofficial topic this week. But we also do have these other things. We're going to talk about Florence Pugh. When's the next time she's going to show up in the MCU? You might be surprised by when and where. Um, Beau DeMayo is on his bullshit again. Uh,
Again.
Eyes of Wakanda. We got a behind the scenes video. We're going to talk about that. Nia DaCosta talks about directing the Marvels again. What does she got to say this time? Uh, Atlanta, Georgia. It's feeling the hurt because Marvel is leaving the state. Chris Pratt continues to show how and why he's the worst MCU. Chris, we're going to talk about the Peacemaker premiere, which was last night, as I said. Did it live up to expectations? So we're going to talk about all that first. Before that, Polly, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you if you had any comics you wanted to talk about before we get into the news. Did you have any comics?
Oh yeah. This week actually it's the third issue of Imperial, and it's getting somewhere. It's definitely like there are some big uh assumptions, accusations we finally find out who is behind everything that's going on. So if you really want to, if you really want a good story that is, well, we don't know how it ends yet, but a big, massive story, then definitely check it out. And we also got some new revelations in the Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther. So that's worth checking out too. And I finally finished the Moon Knight run, the second Moon Knight run. Finally, I finally finished it. Okay, I'm not gonna make any assumptions, but I feel like it's the weakest, probably the weakest. If there's something ever is gonna be as pointless, probably would be the right word. Then I'll take back my words. But so far, I think that the second run is probably not worth checking out.
Okay. Speaking of new Moon Knight, I know Joe is on Earth's Mightiest. Was it Nerds? And I think that's on the Discord. They're doing a
yeah.
run through. This is Charlie Houston's run on, which is the one that introduced like the multiple.
No, this is this is the one that I'm reading now. I just started it. Like Charlie Huston, yeah. That's the third one.
Right. That's
the second one. It had like three writers, I think, and for like a brief moment, they even had like covers by Sienkiewicz, which was probably the highlight. And yes, sir. But this run kind of like got rid of everything that Moon Knight had in the original run, and it kind of like couldn't find its footing or its place. It couldn't deal with the character. He always reminded of some other characters. But I started writing Huston's run, and right off the bat, it kind of gives this Daredevil feel has this Daredevil feel, which is good. But at the same time, yeah, he introduces like an element of insanity to the character. Not yet, but I think it's coming soon.
Yeah.
And it's very good. It's like it screams 2000s and it screams like comic book renaissance after the 90s.
Yes, I think I read some of that at least, but I'm aware of that character from that time. What's funny is that the writer, he actually has a movie coming out. I think it's called Caught Stealing with Austin Butler and is it Zoe Kravitz? Yeah, Austin Butler, Zoe Kravitz. I think Darren Aronofsky is the director, but he's the screenwriter of it. And it's a period piece set in the late '90s, a crime thriller.
That kind of sounds interesting because like his style is very gruesome. It's very gory, I'd say, and he does not pull punches. It's very different from everything that's been before.
I was gonna say, it's the movie. It looks a little more comedic. It's also Vincent D'Onofrio is in it as well. And I'm missing. Is it not Willem Dafoe? There's another. I forget who else is in it. But it's actually it's very funny in the way that what's kind of those British crime caper movies from like the early 2000s. Kind of like that, like those where there's funny, but there's like violence and shit like that. It's like that. It looks very cool. So that's the writer. So if you like it, you're probably gonna like that. Well, that's cool. I wish I had some comics to share, but I did not read any comics this week. So
did you do any Nerding on the Budget?
Oh, you know what? I did. Let me go. I forget. I almost forgot about that.
I'm not gonna nerd on the budget this month anymore.
I totally forgot about the nerding on the budget. But I did have. I have only one thing. I am in the process of completing my Infinity Saga Blu-ray collection. So I got this for it. This wasn't as cheap as I normally would get it.
Everybody's favorite Thor movie.
Yeah, I'm mad.
That's the best one.
I'm mad I paid $8 for this, but I mean.
Look, this is the best Thor movie you've ever seen, okay? There is no
it's definitely a movie.
Divisiveness about it.
It's definitely a Thor movie that I saw. That's definitely true. That's the only nerding on a budget I did this week. But
but the question is, did you see it just once?
I've seen it multiple times because I'm a completionist. I like I've seen it multiple times. I don't love it though. It's fine, but I got Ant-Man and the Wasp and Iron Man 1 on the way. So I should be completing my and I think Thor 1 is on the way too. So then I'll be done. I'll have the whole Infinity Saga. Cool. Uh, collecting
And
is,
then you will be able to move on to collecting everything
almost
else
definitely
after that.
because I'm gonna finish off that. Some of those are reasonably priced, so I'm gonna definitely finish off the collection, get all the MCU. Um, let's talk briefly about this trailer for the Lego
Oh yeah.
Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Uh, First of all, I love Lego Batman. I love the Lego games in general. I think the first one I ever played, well, I think was the Lego Star Wars. Way back in the day, I have the Lego Star Wars collection on Xbox. I didn't get the Skywalker Saga because I literally already have 6 of the 9 games. So why would I do that? I also really love Lego Harry Potter. Really, really, really love like it's 2 games. I really love that. And I have a bunch of other Lego games. They're just like they're not hard to play, but they're fun to play. You know what I mean? Like I'm assuming you've played. Have you played these games?
I have never played these games. I have never
What?
played Lego games. I only recently watched a bunch of like Lego movies, uh, mostly Marvel, everything I could find on Disney Plus, and I do understand they're kind of like arcade style, but I did see some familiar elements from Arkham series, like the explosive spray.
This one,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
I was like, yeah, I know that.
well, there are
Uh,
Lego Batman games. So basically, it's like because Lego Harry Potter was popular, and that's WB Games, right? Or WB.
mm.
So they went ahead and did Lego Batman. They did like 2 or 3 of them, and then they did Lego DC superheroes and like so basically if you wanted to do some DC Lego Batman 1 through 3, there's Lego DC superheroes, there Lego DC supervillains. It was a lot, and the this one is it's a bit different because those are very kind of linear games. You complete missions. But what you do is you run around. There is some fighting. It's very basic fighting, and then you hit some buttons because it's for kids. Like they're supposed to be able to beat up whatever the bad guys are, build up little Lego things that can solve the puzzles and help them complete whatever the mission is. It's easy going gaming, but it's fun because if you know the material, there's Easter eggs. And so I was like, so I saw they announced this, and I'm like, okay, cool, all right, another Lego Batman game, why not? I mean, I like the other ones. I beat the first one. I played through some of the other ones. Cool. Then they were like, well, we have a combat system. And I was like, hold up, a combat system? The combat system was press the A button until the things are gone. Or, and there's a jump button, press that.
Yeah, it's basic attack.
Yeah, no, they were like, well,
that's all I need.
They're like, you're going to be able to do. And then they showed, I was like, oh shit. So y'all just did the Arkham game with Legos. Oh, okay. Oh.
But the problem is that if they start adding like upgrade systems and you have to like really think about which upgrades you're gonna buy, I quit. I'm not gonna do that.
I
don't know all of this stuff. I tried playing Witcher 1 and Witcher 2, and it gets so complicated, I just dropped them. I went straight to Witcher 3, and even there, I don't want to do any of the upgrades.
Yeah, I think because this is still a game that's aimed, you can tell it's a game that's still aimed at kids because there's, rubber banana, or, rubber duckies and all this stuff. It's not meant to be super duper serious like the
or complicated
games, but it is meant to kind of ape the style. It's open world, so and also there's difficulty levels. So and I was like, why the fuck are there difficulty levels on a Lego game? There's only one difficulty, easy, right? It's the only ever nope. This you actually have to, if you're gonna play a higher difficulty, you actually have to play like you're playing an Arkham game. I think that's cool. I think this is a good idea. Like people love Lego.
Well, it's definitely more inclusive. Like for gamers who really like the challenge, but I'm not one of them.
I
I do not like the challenge,
the
okay?
Arkham
I always
games.
play on an easy level. Always play on an easy level. If the easy level is not easy enough, then I quit.
No, I hear that. I know.
I
I
have a
absolutely hear
lot
that.
of games on my Steam account that I don't play because they're complicated.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I play on easy because I ain't got that kind of time. I'm not gonna get good at this game. Like, just let me get to the end.
Yeah. I
But
just want to know the story.
I think this is a really cool thing, and that's a good trailer. The gameplay looks fun. You know, you can glide around the level. They're open level maps, so you can kind of glide around and do whatever, like you could in Arkham City. That's a good idea. I mean, at some point they're gonna make Grand Theft Auto Lego. You know, there's gonna be and I think that's what Lego City is actually, where you just kind of go around and do whatever. Why not? This looks cool. I'm glad that they're making this. So I don't think I'm gonna buy it straight up because I don't buy brand new games. But you know,
No. Just wait till sale.
yeah, definitely. But I'm gonna be
It's gonna be like free on Epic Games in 2 years.
Yeah, in a couple, definitely that, or Amazon Prime Gaming or something. So, but you guys, let us know what y'all thought about the trailer for that. So now we're gonna get into the actual news of this week, which is let me see. Oh, I forgot we're supposed to. I forgot we got to hype up the comic shop. There's so much. I'm just I need to follow my notes for a change. Really quick. This is just a real quick thing. First of all, check out the comic shop trailer on YouTube. Awkward Virgo TV is the channel. That's where the episodes are going to premiere for the show. It's coming out in a week, literally a week from now. The first episode of, and I hope it. I think they're week to week drops. First episode of the comic shop is going to drop on YouTube. Remember, it's crowdfunded, so it does not have a distributor. The distributor is, Cheyenne. So good for her. And she's actually pretty active on Threads. So we've kind of talked back and forth on a couple of threads. I got her to say that she was going to do a live, she's going to do a live thread of the premiere. That's dope. That's cool. I was hoping, there could have been like a watch party, like a little more involved watch party, but I honestly, the logistics of that, I don't know enough to help people out. So, but they're gonna live thread it, and I hope you guys are involved in that. But either way, next Friday, tune in, Awkward Virgo TV. Go subscribe, put your notifications on. Y'all, let's turn up and turn out for this show. We have to. Well, we got to support creators that are doing big things. Support black creators. Support black nerds. Let's like really show some love and repost and share the trailer and the episode.
Get up.
Yeah, definitely let people know what's going on with it. It should be a good time. We are gonna, and in fact, next week when we're because I think it's gonna drop earlier in the morning, because I think she was saying it's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I don't think we'll see because 11 a.m. PST is 1 p.m. here. Or 2. So I may just be able to watch it before we start the show. So we'll see. We will talk about it. Hopefully we'll have enough to talk about next week. So now at the actual news, here we are 30 minutes in. We're gonna get to the actual news. Spider-Man Brand New Day adds more star power, which is wild to say because I feel like every damn week I'm just like, oh, another person is in this. Oh, another person is in this. Oh, they on and on and on. I'm like, at some point, I'm going to what the fuck is Tom Holland gonna actually be on screen? There's so many damn people.
Oh, he's not. It's a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man because you know how well those.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Madam Web effect.
That's one of those.
It's gonna be 30 minutes in, Peter Parker walks in.
What's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. It's they added, and you didn't see the the graphic for it. So we know, confirmed, Trammell Tillman of Severance, and also we recently saw him in the most recent Mission Impossible movie. He is confirmed to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I say awesome. He's a good actor. He's in Severance. He's really good. Haven't seen him in anything else, to be honest, besides the Mission Impossible movie, but he's really good. And what's the speculation? What do you think? What do you think? People like, who's he gonna
Norman
play?
Osborn.
I mean, it would be dope, but
everybody. I mean,
also,
wouldn't everybody just assume that he's gonna play Norman Osborn? But I honestly don't know.
Coleman Domingo is right there, so no.
Well, yeah, and he's already played this part, so
exactly.
If
anybody's gonna be it, better be Coleman Domingo. Damn it. I said Robbie Robertson, for obvious reason. Well, I mean, if you gotta think of all the black characters in the Spider-Man mythos, which is not a ton, not a ton. But Robbie Robertson's been there since the '60s. Remember he was an assistant editor under J. Jonah Jameson at the Daily Bugle. So that makes sense to me. I was gonna say Pratt.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me to work on J. Jonah Jameson, but okay.
Or maybe J. Jonah Jameson isn't. Maybe he's the editor in chief of the Bugle, and J. Jonah is doing his InfoWars shit.
Dark Beating.
Yeah, he's doing his Alex Jones shit. Yeah.
The last time we saw J. Jonah Jameson, I don't think he was an editor or anything. He was just running a channel or something.
He was doing his InfoWars Alex Jones.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe he's the editor in chief of the Daily Bugle. Maybe he's, and not just the editor in chief. Maybe he's the one that's yelling Parker, like that. And also, if he's Robbie Robertson, doesn't that mean we get his son too? Because remember, in the comics in the '70s, he and Peter Parker were roommates for a little while. So there's that too. I'm just saying, if he is, that'll be cool. But that's awesome. He's a good addition.
Yeah, but other than that, though, I remember someone was really excited about. I don't remember who, but people got really excited about finally seeing a Spider-Man movie that centers Spider-Man, that is not everyone else, and then. See, we get everyone else. We get the Hulk, we get Punisher, we get Yelena.
I just want to ask, what phase y'all think we in? It's not phase 2. This is not phase 2. This is not. In fact, phase 1 you couldn't even. I mean, most of the movie Hulk was mostly just Hulk, but at one point Tony Stark shows up in the credit scene. It's not phase 2, y'all. This is weird. The days of self-contained shit are kind of done. Y'all want to say that Eternals had no guest appearances, and and how many people what's this have to do with anything?
Yeah, where were the Avengers?
Exactly. Get out of here. Y'all, they can't. Marvel fans, y'all can't be happy about nothing. Just There was one more. This is a rumor. This is not confirmed. Rumor is that Yelena is going to show up in this. 1, why? 2, hell yeah. Look, I'll make no bones about it. I love Florence Pugh, so if she shows up in another, and also Yelena is my second favorite new character from post Endgame. So if anytime she shows up in anything, fuck yeah. That's all I gotta say. So I hope this is true.
The question of why though, literally any reason. Why not?
Maybe she's gonna be Frank Castle. She's an Avenger. She's a new she's a new Avenger. She's a new Avenger, and they're running around doing shit in her city. So why not? I'm assuming they're based out of New York City.
Punisher. Again, there's plenty of reasons for her to be there. So I'm excited. I'd like to see her there.
Hell yeah! More. It needs to be the Florence Pugh cinematic universe. Damn it! I could say that about several characters. There are several. In fact, I will say this. SWAT, I would take her not being in the movie if they would put Iman Vellani in it. Just have her show up, damn it. They're close to the same age. Why not? Anyway, wishful thinking. We'll see. We'll let you guys know if that's true about Florence Pugh. Uh, Look, Beau DeMayo on some bullshit again. I, you know what? This man makes it so hard to like. I've gone on record saying that like, look, I will listen to what he has to say. I'm not saying he's, his allegations or anything are wrong. I'm not saying that the allegations against him are wrong. I'm just like, look, it sounds like there's some mutual bullshit going on back and forth between Marvel and, but this motherfucker can't just like get on with his life. And now, to be fair to him, I read the article that this comes from. And like, people keep asking him, so they keep trying to be like, what do you think about, the X-Men? They literally are like, what do you think about what Marvel is going to be doing with the X-Men? And he could have been like, you know what? It's not what I would do, but, good luck to them and everything, just like that, right? Just stop. Just be that, right? But this motherfucker can't just leave it alone. So he had to sit there and be like, basically.
You though, I know that I want to say that I wouldn't. I want to say that I would be able to like, okay, let it rest and move on. But no, I'd be stirring up shit just like him. I get it. I mean, he doesn't have much to lose actually in terms of like career, in terms of doing what he likes to do and what he's good at. I don't think he has a lot to lose. So yeah,
he's mostly.
I'd be talking to.
He's mostly already lost it anyway.
Yeah,
I want to.
And when you lost it, not because you talked, but because like other reasons. Why not? I don't know. Just bring in the last nail.
Yeah. Now
I get it.
Now, to be fair to him, a lot of what he was saying was about like how he doesn't believe in the creative, mission, that he doesn't believe in the creative teams or their goals or their how they're going to go about it. He's basically saying this is by committee. It's not they're not going to be fully committed to doing this right. I don't think they have it in them to make the X-Men the way we did on X-Men 97, and I'm glad. And also, he was basically accusing Feige and Louis D'Esposito and Brad Winderbaum of, well, not maybe less Brad Winderbaum, but of not giving a shit about X-Men 97, and that's why they were free to kind of make what. And that he's saying that they were they were mad because X-Men 97 was so good that it was making people ask like, what the fuck's wrong with Marvel Studios? Why can't they do this all the time? I think that's, look, all of that is, that's not a out of the way sort of talk. He keeps being like, well, unnamed people are saying this and that and the other. Okay, fine. Like, I could see that. It's just like, I feel like you already said this shit. Why do you keep going into it? Like, he keeps wanting to relitigate this stuff. He pretty much said this already like a year ago, but people keep.
Yeah, but it wasn't exactly that. Well, he was asked. He answered. I mean, that's kind of fair, but he did make some strange, kind of weird accusations that like it was it gives the impression that it was personal, because of jealousy, because like he made a good product, and not just because Feige and Esposito and the other producers, they didn't necessarily give a shit about the project, but it's kind of implied that they felt like the expectations on this show reflect upon the expectations from the MCU X-Men. Mm-hmm. And yeah, but that's natural. I don't think that was unpredictable or like unexpected to anyone.
Right.
I think that's pretty reasonable. But other than that, he did say some pretty weird stuff, like the after party thing, which he said the rap party, that he said that they didn't show up and they actually didn't throw a party, which they were supposed to. But like it just kind of reminds me of Rob Liefeld, who is still ranting on every possible platform because he wasn't invited to that full rap party. So what I mean, they should probably stop throwing these parties because they only bring problems. But other than that, he did bring a very good point that about X-Men, which kind of reminds us that he does understand what he's talking about. Because after all, at the end of the day, like regardless of everything that's happened, he did deliver a brilliant product, a great first season. He did say that not. Let me remember that no one creator should try to own the X-Men. Like it shouldn't be their project. They should like come into this with love and care for the characters and for their story, and they should do it right. And he just doesn't have faith in the Marvel team that they're gonna do it right. I kind of agree with that in part because the things that we keep hearing, they're a little bit different from what we know and love about the X-Men. Like the way they're bringing them into the MCU, like the story that they're gonna tell, the way they're trying to like say goodbye yet again to the old cast, the Fox X-Men. Kind of all rings true. Like he does understand how to do it right, and we've seen that he does know how to do it right, and kind of like get the feeling that it's exactly what Chris Claremont would say, like the same points he would make in regards to the way that the X-Men should be written and the movie should be shot. So hard to disagree.
I think he makes some good points about the creative process, but also it betrays the fact that he's just a TV writer. And I hate, and look, I like a great many TV writers. Like I really do. I have a lot of respect for what they do, but this also shows that you don't know shit about, you don't really understand the requirements for the film side, right? That this is a big, sprawling cinematic universe that has implicit connections to prior iterations of various characters, like Spider-Man, like the Fantastic Four, like the X-Men. The Fox X-Men are a legacy product that are now at this point explicitly connected to the MCU. This is a multiverse story that is explicitly saying these things exist elsewhere, right? So this whole talk about how Marvel's going about it wrong, bringing old X-Men, actors and shit into it, it's for a reason, because they're going to explain why they're rebooting everything so that they can start off their X-Men properly. But also they're kind of giving a final send-off to the prior versions of not just the MCU, but also the Fox X-Men and Fantastic Four, right? And so
I mean, we do that a lot at this point. We do that a lot. We had so many send-offs for these characters.
Well, in a sense, that's because the multiverse sagas has kind of opened up the possibilities, right? And so in order to close it all off, you want to tie everything off with neatly with the bow. And you want to give, and it's, look, Doomsday and Secret War are explicitly nostalgia bait. We know that going into it, right? We know straight up it's nostalgia bait. And that's fine, because so was Deadpool and Wolverine. If you do it to a purpose and to a narrative purpose and in a way that respects the what came before, and isn't just about cameos for cameo's sake, cool. That's kind of the excuse me. They place themselves in a weird place that's hard to make this right, but they're gonna do their best at it. He's talking about it in terms of, hey, I'm not confident in the new X-Men because I don't think that they creatively are in the right headspace about what they're trying to do. He doesn't fucking know that. He doesn't know shit about that. He does. Look, Jake Schreier is on board to direct the next X-Men. He does not know the screenwriter. he doesn't know the people that are trying to get this together. He doesn't know shit about any of that. They are explicitly going to be starting the X-Men from in a rebooted MCU, right? So they're basically starting from scratch. They're not bringing any of the other people over except maybe Deadpool and, you know, Kamala Khan or whatever. All of that stuff, right? So his, you know, I guess you say his skepticism is kind of based on the fact that, you know, what little he knows from the inside, the things he knows about it from the inside.
His skepticism is built on based on him being salty.
Well, so yes, his
that's the only reason.
His saltiness, but
I mean, these are valid concerns, but yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about, like what's going on in the MCU right now. That's true. Are they still valid concerns? Yes, they're definitely valid. But he's being salty.
Yeah,
and let's not forget that.
I'm like, man, look, I get it, and you know, you've seen on the inside of how things are working and everything, but you haven't been there in like 3 years, so what the fuck do you know? All you keep talking, you keep talking about these.
All the same people are still there, though.
Well, I'm saying no. I'm saying you're talking about all of these insiders that are telling you stuff or whatever, just these, you know, anonymous people. But I'm just saying, like, you haven't been there in 3 years. You don't know what their plans are. You don't know how they're going about that. You don't know anything about that. You've had some experience, and like that's fair. You've got some experience. You know a little bit more than me, but you don't know actually what they're doing with the X-Men. So let me just say, like, you should be like us and just be like, you know what? If you were a normal fan and not trying to pivot into grifter space, you just be like, okay, well, you know what? I don't know what's going on. I don't have huge confidence, but I'm rooting for them. I hope they get it right because I love X-Men and I want to watch something good X-Men. And rather than being like, they're never going to get it right. X-Men 97 is the gold standard. They're not going to be able to live up to it. Okay, well, I mean, if that's right,
See?
that sucks. But like, you know, it could be they could be, you know, maybe they're looking at your blueprint and they're like, well, maybe we can do that. You don't know. They're just bold. How about stop talking about it and go make some other shit? Do that. You're a good writer. You're good. You know, you ran the show pretty well. You know, you made a good season of TV. Go do that somewhere else.
It's really hard when you're that salty. I mean, I don't think that a lot of people are excited to be working with him at this point.
Well, I will add, we were just talking about the comic shop series. She crowdfunded, got her actor friends together, got the money, and something's out in the time. I remember when that was running, that whole thing. That was a year ago, right? Remember, a year ago she ran that Kickstarter, and now it's about to come out. In that same time, what the fuck has Beau DeMayo done? Point one thing to me that he's done besides bitch on the fucking internet. Like, just okay. Anyway, I don't know why I'm so upset. I don't know why I'm so bothered about that. But I get tired of motherfuckers talking on the sideline about what they would do. Well, bitch, get in the game. Look, ain't nobody stopping you. Go make something. Yeah, no, you are Ethan. You turn into Ethan Van Sciver, who keeps swearing he's going to put out non-woke comic books and ain't put shit out. All he does is put out racist bullshit. Doesn't make anything. Like, just lame. That's the thing is, I might support some shit he does, maybe. Just make something. Anyway, on his bullshit again.
Oh, that's fair.
I hate to say it. Next time he's on his bullshit again, we'll talk. We'll talk about it.
Oh.
Let's talk about.
I hope he is like every time it brings some new tea and new stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Kind of used to it by at this point.
Let's talk about something good now. Eyes of Wakanda, amazing show. I think it didn't get the love it needed from Disney Plus. I wonder why. What could be the reason? Like Ryan Coogler.
Ask Beau DeMayo.
Ryan
he
Coogler
probably knows.
He needs to go kick in Kevin Feige's door and be like, you know what? You're gonna stop disrespecting the shit I make. God damn it. But you know, he's too busy. You know, he's too busy swimming in the
working.
Wait, he's too busy. You know, raking in the cash from sinners. So Anyway,
Hmm.
um, there's a behind the scenes of Eyes of Wakanda from the director and showrunner. It's not a 10-minute thing. I just wanted to talk about it very briefly. Just one to big, you know, show love to Wise of Wakanda, but also I like behind the scenes things. And this was a good time. I thought it was a good time to kind of hear and understand the reasoning, or at least the kind of the narrative, thought process that they had. What did you think about this behind the scenes?
Well, first of all, just like the show, kind of gives the same impression as the show. That's not enough. We need more of that. And but I did love that there was very specific things about each episode, and probably I loved most when they talked about inspiration behind some visual things and some like fighting styles.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of very interesting. I googled some stuff after I checked out, but it was really cool to find out a little bit more and how it was created and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I really liked it. For it's good to hear, again, black nerds. Clearly a black nerd that knows his stuff. I liked when he was talking about um the second episode with Memnon and Achilles, and
Mm.
how his idea was, let me take a character actually from the myth, and then kind of like more tell the myth from that character's perspective, and make him a historical figure rather than a mythological figure. And that was really like that was a cool bit of understand. Like you could tell he really like cared about or was very inspired by the myth itself, and how could he recontextualize it? Because a lot of this is, if Wakanda was real and they got involved in various things around the world, what would it really look like? And I thought episode 2 was great. I really enjoyed it. Also written by Mark Bernard, and that's the only thing I did not like about this, besides the fact that it was only 10 minutes. How you only get 10 minutes for 4 episodes that have so much happening? I would have liked if he had gotten Mark Bernard in to come in and sort of chime in on the 2 episodes he wrote, which is episode 2 and 3. Which I think 2 and 3 are they are the better received episodes. Am I wrong about that? That was the one with Memnon,
I
and this other one was the Iron Fist
and
episode.
Iron Fist.
So
Yeah,
they were
I
good
love
received.
both of those. I think that the second one was narratively more interesting because it took inspiration from an actual myth, like story, the history that we're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most exciting part for me. Not just what Wakanda was about and like what they did, but how they fit in with the history that we know,
Right.
being a hidden country and all. Uh, but I wouldn't say that like any episode was particularly better than others, but these two, they were kind of like the separate strong stories.
Mm-hmm.
They were very good.
I also, yeah, I like that the third episode really gave him an opportunity to talk about inspirations for the design of the characters. We get
Hmm.
to kind of see more.
Fighting style and the
Yeah,
characters,
yeah,
yeah.
that was really, and that's and also that he talked about characters that are different than the one, because the thing we get from Wakandans, we often get from Wakandans, is really kind of like kind of serious, a little more they're I don't want to say humorless, but a lot more stoic or whatever. And so we get people like M'Baku, who's a bit of a comic relief because of he sometimes just kind of says some stuff that's kind of out of place in the kind of the seriousness. I enjoyed that Basha, the character, and he was talking about how there's a different kind of tone of character, that not everyone is just stoic and real earnest, but like some of them can be jokey or a lot more free spirited, or you know what I'm saying, but still be very competent.
Kind of like Shuri was in the first movie.
Exactly. And Basha was.
But that also, that also makes sense because the perception of Wakanda is like it's a kingdom. it's a kingdom, so it's a little bit archaic in many ways.
Mhm.
And like a historical movie, like if you were writing a historical movie, your characters would be speaking in a specific way, and that's kind of what we see with Wakanda in general.
Exactly. I liken Basha to he's kind of more Han Solo than Obi-Wan
Hmm.
Kenobi. You know, he's a lot more Han Solo, but definitely knows what he's doing. But and I love the the Iron Fist in there. So
Yeah.
this was a really cool like little featurette. I just wish that they would have shown more love to this show, like really, because I think when people actually watch the show, when they actually get to like you got when you can finally get them to watch it, it goes over well. So it's just it's so odd. I really hope that this is not what we should expect in the future. So far, aside from the two Black Panthers, they haven't really pushed our black characters very well. I think they've not done a good job of it. And I hope that they do better. So Wonder Man, y'all got another chance to get it right. Wonder Man's coming out and
Oh, they're not gonna.
no, they're gonna
Yeah,
probably
well,
no, they're definitely gonna like bury it. But I'm just like be better. I don't give a fuck if Trump is in office.
when is the show coming out?
It's in December.
Well, see, do we see any promotion?
We gonna see. They put out some like first looks, but not yet. So we'll see.
Yeah, well,
They got a couple months to get together.
they're gonna. I guarantee you they're gonna fuck it up just like they did before, like with every project before, and we're gonna have to do their job for them.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to do that.
At this point, I'm pretty sure that they just rely on us to do their job for them because they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, well, I know for sure they're not gonna do. Well, they're not gonna do it. They're all scared as fuck because of the anti-woke bullshit that's going on and who is in charge over here. But we're gonna be fighting an uphill battle anyway because he's a race swap character, and um, suddenly people are going to really, really, really care about this their favorite character of
Yeah,
all time that they never
we're
fucking
gonna
talk
see
about.
all of them
Yeah,
fans of Wonder Man,
they're gonna
like
suddenly
lifelong fans. Your favorite character, Wonder Man. What's his name? I don't know.
yeah. They're suddenly going to be really, really concerned about Wonder Woman, and it's going to be great.
He's gonna like, hey, at least they're gonna buy comics, hopefully,
No, they're not.
about
They're
Wonder
not
Man.
going to.
No, they're not.
They're not going to. They just want to. They just want to bang their stupid little drum. So, anyway, this was cool. Show some love to Wakanda. Not Wakanda. For Eyes of Wakanda. Y'all go watch that. Um, let's talk about Marvel a little bit more. Nia DaCosta talks about uh the Marvels and kind of its failure. Um, she's not. Look, I don't know if this just is just resurfacing or what.
Just go sit over there next to Beau.
I don't know if she's, but so what? Basically, what one of the things, and this is, I want to talk about this just because this speaks to a strength and a big weakness of Marvel Studios. One that I think is going to show very much in what's going to show very much in Doomsday and Secret Wars. That is the fact that and Feige was like, oh, we never start filming without a finished script. Bullshit. Yeah, get the hell out of there. Literally, I keep hearing all the time they're still trying to figure out. Even the Russos themselves said they're trying to figure out the how to end Doomsday.
But keep in mind that trying to figure out and not having a script, different things.
Oh
There
yeah,
are edits. There are like multiple edits. You can have a script. It just can be shit. And they're still gonna be trying to figure it out. Like, how do we make it less shitty? That's the process.
Nia DaCosta basically was just like, it's hard to shoot a good movie with an unfinished script.
Well,
and I'm just like, I don't know if you should have attached your name to this shit if that's the case. Like, you got to be like, we talked about Madam Web as a really serious example of how
they had a script.
They did, but they decided it wasn't cool, and then they decided to change it. And it sounds like the Marvels was kind of an unfinished situation, and she had to make the most of it. Um, which honestly, there's there's a decent amount of this has fallen on her head as a director, but thankfully it has not actually affected her ability to work because she's got the 28 years later, the Bone Temple coming out next year, so she's not in director jail or anything. And I think this is for one reason. Any other time a black creator, a director, whatever, that produced a flop, which what the Marvels was a flop. Even considering all of the reasons why it was a flop, there's a lot of reasons why. But she normally would have been saddled with that, and they were like, oh, women directors, they just can't direct, right? They don't direct hits, and black directors, they don't direct hits. You didn't notice not too many people are really putting this on her shoulders, and it's because I think
she does constantly talk about how about the process and where it went wrong.
Yep. Well, I mean, hey, see, cover your ass. Why the fuck not? Look.
Absolutely, like yeah.
You think you ain't gonna keep me from getting another job? Fuck that. But I think it kind of exposed the weaknesses of the Marvel method. The Marvel method of filmmaking. How the reason why people no one's putting a lot of this on her shoulders is because they kind of realize a lot of the process was taken out of her hands because of this, changing the script and changing the story and all the other stuff. A lot of this was not in her hands, and people are realizing like, oh, if there's a shit MCU movie, there's a lot of this is on the notes and Feige and the Parliament and whatever the brain trust that they have over there that are ultimately actually deciding on this. And I this makes me think like, Doomsday, what the fuck? What should we expect out of this?
Every other Marvel movie, like the good ones, the bad ones, they were created in the similar way. And some of them are good, some of them are not so good, some of them are... when we talk about Marvels in particular, I mean, it's very important to consider that would it have been a flop had it not been like review bombed, had it not been attacked constantly because of the cast or because of the like all characters being women, stuff like that. And after that, like, I really enjoyed it. I don't see the problem that everybody else sees, but also they should think about like what is actually the job of the director. It's not the story is not necessarily their responsibility. They work with the story, with the existing story. And when it comes to Marvel and the way they work, everybody knows that at this point. Everybody knows how it works. So some people are comfortable working like that. Some people are comfortable like making changes on the go and delivering the product, and they don't get upset over those things or something. Some react differently. I think that like they should probably understand better what kind of people are ready to work in this environment.
Right.
It's a misunderstanding, I think, from both sides. She probably didn't know what was expected of her. They didn't know like what didn't let her know what they were expecting of her in particular. And besides, I understand that it's a very attractive opportunity, but it always matters like whether you are prepared to work with that.
Yeah. I think the idea that as a director, you pitch a movie, and then when you get there they don't want you to make that movie is kind of weird. Like, as a director, because you're used to the idea that the reason you're there is because you had a certain vision, and the producers thought, or the studio was like, that's the vision, your vision, that's what we want to make. And then to get there and find
but
out,
also like you are playing in somebody else's sandbox. Yeah. Always, like writers, creators, everyone who comes into the Marvel in general, they are allowed to play in this particular sandbox, and that's not theirs.
Yeah, it's I think you're right. Like it ultimately is their movie. You're kind of there to kind of
Yeah.
put your vision into work. But if they think that's not what they want, they'll tell you go back and do it again. So it's
Yeah,
definitely
but you can always like, if you like the project, if you really interested in this project, go do something else that's similar but different.
yeah.
Go make Sinners, like if you can't make Blade.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we ain't even gonna get on that. Well, I don't. Let's not relitigate this anymore. I still have lots of faith in Nia DaCosta because I've seen her good work.
Absolutely.
I think the Marvels is good. I think she can do. I think she's gonna do so much better though in the future. So we'll see.
I think she would have done much better if they let her do her project, but well, we'll never know now.
No, go to DC.
Yeah, by the way.
All right. So next, speaking of Marvel, I I I wish you could see this. I wish you could see the thumbnail here. Marvel abandons Georgia for England, not Georgia, the Eastern European nation, but the state of Georgia, in the United States, which
I mean, that clarification reminds me. Only Americans make this clarification.
I mean, when you say Georgia in America, we think of the South. When you say Georgia in Europe, you think of, I don't know, somewhere in Eastern
the country.
Europe. Yeah, just a country. Well, so Atlanta, Georgia is the Atlanta metro area, has a big movie studio presence because it had a lot of tax incentives to get movies to be made there. And boy, Marvel took advantage of that because, Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, Black Panther, so many things were filmed in the Atlanta metro area. So much so that their presence was so big that, the state of Georgia, different companies, they built up lots of infrastructure for them. Sound stages, lots, all that stuff. And but Marvel was, and I said I wish you could see the thumbnail. It's that meme of the guy, the guy with his girlfriend.
Oh, you sent me that, yeah.
Oh, okay, you did see it. So Marvel's just like, hey, we're gonna go across the pond.
We're gone.
Yeah,
Bye.
I see something better across the pond. So they've gone to for money reasons, because look, Marvel movies are expensive to make. Yeah, look, all these special effects don't pay for themselves. They're expensive to make. We can't be paying American prices when we could go to England and get England prices. And let me tell you,
aren't prices in England higher? I mean,
you would think, but there are reasons, because this is all about guild stuff. In America, we have the Writers Guild, we got the Producers Guild, the Actors Guild. There's the IATSE. They are the people that basically cover the behind the scenes people. Camera operators, gaffers,
unions and stuff like that.
Well, unions, like, so they have to cover, like, health insurance and all the other shit for these people. Well, in America, health insurance is expensive as fuck. Because our health system is bad. It is what is it, for profit, and so of course
it is designed to like allow as many people die as possible.
It's for profit, so therefore it's expensive, and so when you have these requirements for this expensive ass insurance to cover all the people that are working on the film, you could have hundreds of people working on a Marvel film. So even in the state of Georgia, where they have tax incentives to get people to come there, it's still more attractive to go to England, where you just have socialized health care, right? You don't have to worry. The companies do not.
But also, like, half of the actors live there.
Yeah, well, you have the guild. You don't have to worry about the film guild. You have to worry about the British one, right? they don't have any of those rules about health insurance because they have the NHS. It's built into. There's no, the employers don't have to provide that. This is a real thing. When you have a $200 million films, saving money wherever is where so you fly out your principal actors. They go live there for a few months, film their scenes. All of the people, you fly out some of the, guilds people that are your principal ones from America, but most of them are going to be English, right? So you save a ton of money doing that. It makes sense. It makes sense. And London, or the, area surrounding London, they have a lot of sound stages. A lot. Like it's been there for decades, right? There have been sound stages out in that part of the country for decades. They have the infrastructure. So, and they have the expertise. They have as much expertise making film as people in Hollywood.
Didn't they I think they made Star Wars movies in England.
Yeah, they did the OG Star Wars. A lot of the sound
Do they have
is in England. This is why a lot of people that are on the original trilogy have English accents. So this is not a surprise to me. But apparently it's a surprise to the people of the state of Georgia, because they were like they're like, Marvel's going to be here forever. Let's make billions of dollars of investments, or hundreds of $1,000,000 of investments building this shit up. And now they're gone. And so now Georgia's like, what the fuck what are we going to do? This is this employed, lots of people in the Atlanta metro area. Now it's all gone. We're out of work. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't really
invite DC.
No, they're going to do the same. That's the thing. They're going to do the same thing. This is how capitalism fucks people over. And look, I'm not saying they are owed these jobs. I'm not saying that at all. But you can do everything in your power. The government can do everything in its power to get them to come and work and produce films there, lower taxes, have a good workforce that's ready to go. They know what they're doing, right? They can build all that stuff up. And as soon as it's $1 cheaper somewhere else, buy. And all that shit that you just did goes away. Because capitalism doesn't give a fuck about the people. It cares about profit. And look, these things are expensive to make. They want their money back. They want to make it for as cheap as possible. I don't know. I guess I put this up here just because it's Marvel, but also I think you might have your perspective may be somewhat different than mine. I don't know if it's somewhat different than mine. Let me see.
It's different because it's more of a political thing than it's entertainment thing, because we all understand the reasons why it happened. And the problem is whether the people in Georgia will understand the reasons that why it happened, whether they would change something about their attitude, and they during the next vote, if you're ever going to have one. That's the whole point. If they don't, then what are you complaining about? We've been through this stuff in Russia. That's literally what we lived through. If you want change, go deliver the change. If you don't want change, then, well, deal with the consequences.
Yeah. Well, I think, like I said, that, capitalism, there's no national allegiance. There's no, there's no concern about the goodwill or of a community. They don't care about that at all. Disney is not in the business of propping up the Atlanta metro area. They were doing it for money purposes. There's a better place to go, they're going to go there. They have no allegiance whatsoever to the state of Georgia, and lots of other states that have been trying to do this. They're in the
that
position.
If anyone could actually push for some kind of change there, regarding healthcare or something like that, that's big companies like that.
Oh no!
So in a way,
they're not gonna do that.
but some result has to come from it. I don't know.
Well, I think as a non-American, you don't understand the leverage that healthcare insurance has for people. It's considered a work benefit. You get it through your company, right? If you lose your job,
Yeah, that.
you don't have it anymore, right? So it's one of the carrots that they use to keep you at a job. Uh, and so losing it is bad. So there's no incentive for companies to like whatever savings they might get from having universal health care coverage is that's not as much as having leverage over you as a employee to keep you keep you there and shut the hell up and just go to work. It's that
I mean, fair enough.
that's and also a lot of these people who are in charge of these companies are conservative and
Well,
they
that's true.
really hate universal health care. They really like you even in your country, even in places where they have universal health care, the conservatives by and large are trying to fucking privatize it. Like without fail, anywhere they're not saying it out loud because they know that y'all know that's something that you've had a right to, and you'll be damned if somebody fucking takes it away from you. But they've been saying these little things to just be like, oh, wait times are too long, and like, it's all these panels that are determining it. Wouldn't it be better if you just had privatized care? No, bitch, it wouldn't. America proves it all the time. The most we talk shit about so-called third world countries, and I'm like, well, at least you can go to the doctor and not have a $10,000 bill when you get out.
That's true. That's true. Like even in Russia.
Well, either way.
At least, like, if you die, your family is not stuck with not necessarily stuck with a huge bill.
Yeah, exactly. But
You can die for free.
America's the best, though, y'all. It's just not the best for not the state of Georgia is just not the best place for Marvel anymore. And you know what? That's y'all. Hey, y'all did a lot of it. Maybe you should I don't know, lower your taxes to zero, and maybe that they're at some point they're basically gonna pay.
Nah.
They're gonna pay Marvel. They've literally been paying Marvel to come make movies there, and they're at some point they're just gonna fund the entire movie just to get them to come make it. It's anyway. Sorry, Georgia. Let's talk about something more fun. You saw this thumbnail. I sent it to you. Everybody watching, you can see this thumbnail too. We're going to talk about, as someone said, I forget who it was. I'm sorry, I forget your name on Threads. Crisp Rat, aka.
Yeah, I saw that come out. But also, how is that fun?
Crisp Rat is very good. Yes, Chris Pratt. Surprise, Chris Pratt kind of sucks. On the thing it says, I love RFK Jr. So if y'all don't know, Chris Pratt of Star-Lord fame, he's been other things obviously. This thumbnail is actually from Wanted, where he got smacked the fuck out by a keyboard by James McAvoy, doing the Lord's work right there, by the way. He sucked in that. That dude he was such a shitty character in that movie. I love that part. But so Chris Pratt, he was wasn't he married to Anna Faris? Yeah, he was.
Yes,
to Anna
yes.
Faris at one point. Divorced her. He married into the Kennedy family, or not?
They had a
kid
too.
Yeah, he not kid. Didn't he? Is he?
No, Schwarzenegger.
But Schwarzenegger, they are married. He's married into the Kennedy. Whatever. It's an extended family thing. The point being, the Kennedys and Schwarzeneggers are, like that. Because I think he was married to Maria Shriver. Schwarzenegger was married to Maria Shriver. Maria Shriver is a Kennedy. Whatever.
How do I know these people?
Because the movings and doings of rich white people is, super important. That's so important that we all know. Whatever. The point is, he's married to a Schwarzenegger, extended family to the Kennedys. So he got to hang out with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who was currently Health and Human Services Department of Health, Secretary of the Department of Health, U.S. Department of Health. Anti-vaxxer.
So he's not doing a good job.
Yeah, anti-vaxxer, COVID denier. He
definitely not the person you'd want to be in charge of anything health related.
He has no fucking medical whatever.
Do you agree?
He's he's a blemish on his father's name. You know, his namesake's name.
But then again, he's a white person, so like he's a white man.
I mean, he's a rich.
So he's automatically qualified.
Yeah, a rich, mediocre white man that endorsed Donald
Yeah.
Trump. That's why he's running things. He's doing all sorts of stupid ass shit. In his role as, Secretary of Health. And Chris Pratt was like, I hung out with him. I like hanging out. So basically, he was I like hanging out with him. He's a good guy to hang out with. And look, what's wrong with why are you guys so politically, you guys are so politically polarized.
Divisive.
Yeah, that you can't even celebrate when they do good things. Like
be kind to one another.
He wants to get the bad things out of our food. What's wrong with that? So basically, Chris Pratt's doing that thing that privileged white dudes do, which is I'll be fine. So what's really wrong with both sides? I would have this is the thing. If he had said that part, he's like he did the good thing. This part about getting like bad things out of our food, that's a good idea. I'm for that. But then he turned around and be like, but this shit about vaccines is weird. I'd have been like, okay, so you're not just like, you're not just trying to both sides this shit. You're actually trying to be, having a reasonable opinion about this because clearly not everything this motherfucker doing is good. But no, he wants to make it out like we're being weirdos because we're like slamming Robert F. Kennedy. And he's kind of showing like he's the worst Chris. He's the worst MCU Chris. He could have shut the fuck up, right? He could have just like said nothing. I mean, obviously someone asked him about it. He could have been like, that's my, I'm my cousin, and I've hung out with him. He's fine one-on-one or whatever, and said nothing else about his policies, right?
No, would be the problem for me either way, because like imagine if like Peter Quill was like, you know what, I hung out with High Evolutionary a couple times. He's a really cool guy. Why do you have to be divisive about like stuff about animals? Come on.
It actually has a point about like evolving and I think the other thing, kind of the thing about Chris Pratt is we got to talk about it. Whether you're religious or not, it's pretty clear that he's more of a conservative Christian. It's very clear. Like it's not like they don't exist in Hollywood. They do. They're around.
They just usually be quiet.
Hell, some black actors are conservative-minded Christians. They're not socially conservative. They're conservative-minded in terms of like they're really what. I get it. Okay. So he is like that, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's just that it starts to kind of show the cracks in the facade of like, hey, I'm one of the good ones. When you say some shit about Robert F. Kennedy, who is not one of the good ones. Look, a broken clock's right twice a day, right? I'm still waiting for RFK to be right for that one time. He's supposed to be right twice a day. I'm waiting for number one. Where the fuck is it? He's demonstrably harming. And look, I get it. That's your family member. You don't want to cause waves or something. You could have just said no comment. Right? Could just be like, no comment, man. I'm not gonna.
Either way, you can't separate, like, when it's a public figure, and it's not just a public figure, but a public servant, like someone whose decisions affect everyone, whose stupidity affects everyone. If he's stupid about, like, if Chris Pratt is stupid about vaccines, it just affects him and his family, his immediate family, his child. If this guy is stupid about them, it affects everyone. So you just don't have the right in this situation to say, like, oh, he's an okay guy, because he's an okay guy kind of means, like, you just fine with everything that he says. It doesn't bug you. It doesn't cause contradiction. I mean, I don't know. If I had someone like that in my family, I would be constantly at their throat. Seriously, it wouldn't bug me, like, wouldn't bother me whether they Kennedy or whoever, like Kim Jong, whatever. You can, like, rule any country or part of the country or anything, and it wouldn't bother me, because I would tell you, like, how it is. I don't care. But this is just so, I don't know, wicked shit. What it is.
It's legitimizing. It's kind of legitimizing someone who is pretty demonstrably harmful.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of, look, this shit demonstrates some shit that bugs the fuck out of me. And, like,
that is kind of the worst thing a person could do. You can do nothing, but it's less harmful than trying to legitimize somebody who does harm.
Because he's just like, can't we all just get along? Fuck no. One side is his side, the side the RFK has chosen, is constantly doing harmful shit, and he's part of it. Fuck that. No, we can't all just get along. The other thing is, and this is like, to the white people that watch this show, there's not like whoever, and even people we follow and that follow me. Yeah, like, we're good, but, like, this is a problem I've had with white Americans for a while, for like 20 something odd years. Ever since I realized that arguing at Thanksgiving was a thing, about politics was a thing. Now, black people, at least in my family, are pretty homogenous, so we don't disagree about too much politically, so we don't ruin our Thanksgivings. But I bet, I was formerly married to a white woman. I went to her family stuff and had to, like, be on my best behavior, because they're conservative. But I've had, like, talks with some of them and everything like that. I get it, but, like, we're where we are in this country right now because y'all are afraid to be uncomfortable. Y'all are afraid, like, I'm not all of you, obviously not all. I don't know why I gotta preface this. If this don't apply to you, why are you getting fucking offended? If you've been doing the right thing, this ain't you. So, but I guess I gotta say that. Obviously not all of you are doing this, but enough of you are that things are fucked up. Y'all letting bullshit like this slide because you don't want to be uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if Chris Pratt agrees with everything RFK is on about, but RFK has said some demonstrably wrong shit, and he's based policy on it. And Chris Pratt's not an idiot as far as I know. He's not an idiot as far as I know. So why are y'all so afraid of being uncomfortable or causing a scene that y'all can't call these motherfuckers out? Like, we're at go time right now. We're at DEFCON 5 right now. Shit is going horribly wrong in this country, and y'all are afraid that Thanksgiving's going to be ruined? Fuck off with that. Y'all need to, like, grow a pair. Well, I guess that's maybe not say it like that. Get some courage. Get some courage and tell yo fucking crazy ass, know nothing ass, big opinion, uncle, or in this case cousin, you're full of shit and you need to change. Anyway,
the problem is, like, he didn't, even in the interview, he didn't state specifically, like, where he disagreed with him. He did not bring anything up. Like he just was just like, oh, he's a really cool guy. We hang out a couple of times. I
And why
mean,
are y'all
that's
being
not
so
okay.
mean? Why you being so mean to him? He's just trying to make people healthy. He's just trying to make people healthy. He this in enough time, he's gonna be the health secretary that the American health secretary with the biggest outbreak
Brought
of
the
measles.
plague back.
Yeah, I play, and he's burying all that shit. Like, so if but you cool with him, that's your you love just having a beer with him.
That's the important thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck off. That's what I want to say. You're Chris Pratt. You suck because you're legit. You legitimize this shit. You know.
Uh, that you said he's not stupid, and like I don't know if that's true. It's
I
kind of
think
like really
yeah.
hard to say at this point. He's done some things that are not really smart. He said some things that are not really smart. Uh, well, he ain't smart. That's what I'm saying.
And I mean, maybe he's just average. He's an average American, which I suppose in European terms means he's not smart. But what I kind of feel bad, like, because Star Lord's a really good character. And I also,
I mean, in a rebooted MCU, anyone could play Star
yeah,
Lord.
he could. I like Star Lord as a character. Um, as an aside, I also like the fact that Marvel, the What If season 1 showed that actually he's mediocre as fuck. He's very mediocre because T'Challa was a way better Star Lord than he ever could be. But he's a good character.
Shocker.
People like him. He's done a good job as the character. So, and I feel bad for people, who really have attached to this character because this is a huge disappointment. And there continues to be, actors and public figures who are disappointments like this. Like, now, it's one thing to be a disappointment because you are actively doing harmful shit, that. But another one is to be actively harmful. Well, I'm sorry, you're doing actively harmful shit like preying on people or whatever. That's one thing. Another is to support people who are like that. To be like a mouthpiece or for people who are harmful, or in this case, to to support someone whose bad ideas are harming communities. And so people are just super disappointed about this, and it's like you're losing your heroes. Which I kind of want to say, like, I hate that for y'all who really are attached to this character, but the character's still there. Like, the actor is maybe shit, the character is still there. So, and I understand that.
Well, we still don't know if that's enough problems to cause him to actually lose his job.
The thing is he's not the thing. He's doing something harmful, but it's not a real.
It's not actively harmful. It's just kind of like.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah, it's not even. I mean, it does contradict the character that he portrays, but like not that much, not enough to be a problem. It's not like if Captain America was actually secretly a Nazi.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Chris Evans, please don't. Please don't be found. Don't have some surface and you're a proud boy. God damn it. And Chris Hemsworth. You see me? Please.
He's Australian.
There's no shield from any bullshit. There are plenty of Australians who are terrible. So I'm just.
Well, sure, but like the politics are not so loud.
Yes. Anyway, Chris Pratt, the worst MCU Chris. He's not the worst Chris in the world, but I mean, he's definitely.
I mean, name one worse.
You know what? I can't right now. I'm trying to think of all the Chris's that exist in the word Columbus. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that's one's pretty bad too.
Anyway, you suck. Not that you suck. Just be better. How about that? Just be better. He's not gonna listen to me. let's talk about a better Chris. And that, of course, is Peacemaker, because Peacemaker season 2 has premiered. And the first season asked us, in the intro, do we want to taste it? Everyone was like, actually, we do. This tastes delicious, actually. James Gunn was like, well, how about some more? And we were like, bet, let's have some more of this. And so it premiered last night. I did watch it today. You watched it today. I did a little bit of tweeting. Or not tweeting. Why did I say tweeting? Threading about it. A little bit of threading. But I mostly wanted to reserve what I had to say about it. Here, season 2 brings back the 11th Street Kids. We get Adebayo. Was it Economos, Harcourt, and of course our good Myrn obviously died in the previous season, so we get Peacemaker back, Chris. And man, they saved the world in the previous season. Everyone was so happy, and they were like, "You guys are heroes. Let's celebrate you, and really make you guys. Let's really make your lives better because of everything you did for the world." But this is a James Gunn joint. That shit didn't happen. For sure that shit did not happen. Instead, they're just like, all right, you ever watch a movie or something, and like your heroes, or heroes, they save the world, they save the day, and I'm just like, all right, they save the day. What happened next? You never get to see that because the movie's over, right? This is just like, well, what happened next? Well, apparently what happens next is no respect whatsoever. Everyone's lives are fucked up. Amanda Waller is petty as hell. She's petty, and she got the power to make it happen. So she's making everybody's lives suck. And, and we also have Rick Flag Sr., who is equally as petty as Amanda Waller. And he's got the power to do something about it. And under all of this, we have a new dance intro sequence. And, we have alternate universe shit going on. We got ties to the DC. There's a lot of stuff going on in this first episode. It's only 45 minutes, which actually, counting if you take away all of the credits, is actually
Kind of feels longer.
It was actually only about 40-ish, 41 minutes long. Anyway, without spoiling stuff, let's talk about it. What did you think about this episode?
Wow. First of all, I kind of loved the way that the end title. Well, it wasn't the end titles, but the cameo at the end of of season 1 was changed to include the Justice Gang,
so good,
and Superman and Supergirl. That was devious, but also genius. I already saw today like people on threads being very salty about it, very mad.
I loved it.
It was so fun. Just why not? Because like this is something that we often don't do. You just don't address it or anything. But just rewriting it's brilliant. It's awesome. Yeah. Other than that, you pointed out that it's kind of like what happens after the saving of the world part, and we've seen some things like that. Usually, like the heroes go back to their normal life, they have problems, but this is next level because they saved the world and they still fucked because none of them can get a job, and it was like a very ridiculous sequence when Peacemaker was interviewed by the Justice Gang. That was so.
Those guys, they are mean as hell, and they like the fun. It's so weird. I love that James Gunn can make characters suck, but also I still really like them. While like they're being really mean, and I still really enjoyed it because of the tone of Peacemaker. That's the tone of Peacemaker, right? So watching, and we also got a bit of this in Superman, where Guy and Hawk Girl are kind of like mean girls, right? They kind of suck, but also I love them when they're being mean girls. I really, if you like Regina George, you kind of okay with the way that they're being. And then we finally got to see Maxwell Lord, and he's kind of a douche too, and I love it. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
No, but I interrupt you. I like that scene
No,
so
no,
much.
that's okay. That just was one of the more hilarious scenes that popped up. But I do feel like, I mean, imagine some kid watching Superman and thinking like, "Oh my God, this character show up in the show," and then watch
Oh my
this
God.
show
I,
and
I
getting
hope no
screwed
kid,
up forever.
no kids, please don't watch. If your kid loves
You know
Superman,
they gonna, you know they're gonna watch it.
if your kids love Superman, keep them 10 miles away from this motherfucking show. And even James Gunn will
Hmm.
tell you, do it. This is not for them. The show is not for them
There's
at all.
definitely, so yeah, it's kind of like a fine line with putting these characters, and they are very, very involved in this show. So like putting them so heavily into the show, I don't know if that's the right choice, but then again, it's not gonna affect anything, hopefully. So yeah, and then the alternate universe stuff,
Mm-hmm.
love that. I always love the alternate universes. They're like what is and what kind of life the character would be living. And of course, that's one of my favorite parts because we don't know everything about that world, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's obvious that he's gonna go and want to take the place of that Peacemaker
Yeah,
because he already
exactly.
killed him. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Uh, which yeah, he probably. I don't know. He didn't have a choice there, though. But at the end of the day, you know that with the Saki life here and the like idyllic life there, he's gonna wanna go there. It's gonna be
Exactly.
kind of like an addiction. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bit
But
of
that world's gonna be fucked up too, probably. So that's gonna
in
be
its own
really
in its
interesting
own
because
way.
it's
But
kind of
yeah.
yeah, utopia, kind of like a utopia with that's actually a dystopia,
Well,
probably.
it's and I think it's a bit of a riff on the whole I have an online the virtual reality world that's better than
Mm.
my real world, and I choose to live my life there rather than in the real world. And when he disappears and like they actually need him in the real world, so I can see that. And yeah, that all that glitters isn't gold over there. It's not as good as he thinks it is. And but it on the surface, just from his little interaction in there, it seems to be the world that he's dreamed of actually having been, where he's a hero, where his dad loves him, where his brother's alive,
And
where
his brother, yeah.
he has respect.
I mean,
He has power. He has money.
there's one problem there. We don't really know. Do we know what kind of hero his father is in that world?
Well,
Because
yeah,
if he's the same kind of hero, then what kind of world is that?
yeah. Is that a world? I mean,
Uh,
it's clearly the DCU and an alternate version because they mentioned Bloodhaven, but
well, yeah.
but
It,
is his dad still a white supremacist? That there's a
mhm.
lot of question. They're very successful there, so that's a very good question. Um, it would
That is a very good first episode that
yeah.
really poses all the questions that are going to be answered over the course of the season. And it does a great job of like bringing you back into the story and setting up a really exciting season.
Yeah, I think what I really liked about this is that there's still a through line from season one, right? So the focus of, yes, Chris, his evolution as a person, as a character, to become someone who wants to be a real hero, not just like the
Mhm.
Peacemaker, is still on display here. But he's actually been, rather than being rewarded for his change, he's actually being punished. So now he sees an
Yeah,
opportunity
it's hard.
to be in a place where he is rewarded for that. But also the through lines of the other characters. Hardcore, her evolution, as she's going through the same metamorphosis as a person, and it's really like all of the toxicity of her upbringing is on display in this. There's a fight sequence that's amazing. Like I liked it so much, and she was the feature, and kind of seeing like because the scene early on where she's basically getting rejected for a job, and the reasoning is toxic masculinity, and she's just like, how the fuck do I have toxic masculinity? I have a vagina, which is a hilarious line. But then when you see that fight sequence later, you're like, oh, okay, I see what the doctor's talking about. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, the doctor is talking about his self-destructive behavior
yeah,
is what he should be talking
he
about.
was, and like he mentioned that, and then you see it play out in this because she doesn't know how to deal with her negative emotions except through violence, which is something that
Or positive.
yeah, and that's what Peacemaker went through in the first season also. And the fact that she is like she's in a way she's Peacemaker in the first season. She's pushing him away. She's using violence as a way to express her emotions, right? She's sort of pain is pleasure in a way, right? And then pushing him away, he has to deal with his negative emotions, and he does it in the way he knows how. But he's rejected violence as that course, and therefore he turns to what his pleasure, right? And so you get a scene, and this a spoiler alert, you get an orgy scene, and I was like, is this real or is this drug induced?
No, it was real.
And I was like, oh shit, it's real. Again, spoiler alert. I didn't think they were going that far. This shit, I was like, hold on a second. This shit is wild. It took me a sec. Like I'm like, am I seeing? Is this? It's like, is this porn? What happened here? Like, am I wrong about that? Like, and I'm not squeamish or it doesn't bother me. I was just like, y'all ain't playing. Like, no kid. Like,
that was kind of the moment when I thought that 14 years, like, you kind of fine with watching violence, but like this is probably too far, right? Or like 16-year-old viewer. Again,
if you're a
16-year-old boy, acceptable. This is
if you're a 16-year-old boy, you're gonna be like, you're gonna be watching this when your parents aren't at home.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna wanna. Still don't recommend it.
This is our being elderly talking, because kids on the internet, they can do whatever the fuck they want nowadays. But
again, I don't know if it was like too far. I don't think so, because with doesn't really shock you anymore at some point.
I was just like, oh, I was wondering, like, how far is this? And I was like, oh,
it kind of was a very long sequence, but the point of it, I think, I can't believe I'm defending this, but the point of it, I think, is to show that even still, with all that going on around him, he's completely uninterested, and he's still all in his thoughts.
Yeah, even the drugs, the sex, none of the alcohol, none of that is numbing his
rock and roll.
Yeah, none of that is numbing the pain of Harcourt saying that they apparently had sex. You know, he thought he was building something with her. She's not seeing it the same way, and it's painful. And his normal ways of dealing with his negative emotions don't work, which pushes him to this.
I think it's kind of like, again, with her, it probably goes deeper than that, because it's like self-loathing that would probably affect the way she thinks other people perceive her, which, of course, sums up and adds up to this. So I'm not a psychologist or anything.
Well, she's in her head about the fact that, and she said, I mean, you know, if you want to kind of really know where she's at, she says it. This is the only thing I know how to do. This is me. Basically, all of my identity is tied up in the fact that I do this spy shit, this ass-kicking shit for a living. And you telling me I can't do that because of Amanda Waller? So now everything I know and understand about myself, everything I'm good at, I'm locked out of it. Now what the fuck do I do? And she doesn't know what to do. And so her only, like, that barroom brawl is the closest thing she's going to get to it. And to make her feel like a normal.
But then you pointed out that there is a parallel, and she kind of, again, she did something that she thought was right when she stood up to Amanda Waller. She did something that, again, she thought was right when they saved the world. And still, instead of recognition, she gets rejected from every opportunity. It gets punished, and it's personal and probably sucks. So understandable.
Exactly.
And then again, I think that Adebayo kind of going through the same thing, but in different way, because like she broke up with her girlfriend, or I don't remember if they were
she's
married.
married, but like
Right.
they're
Yeah.
separated. She's
Okay.
kicked out.
Yeah.
I thought her, and
So again,
there's not enough of her in it. There's not enough Economos in it, but there's just enough to kind of see where they're heading. Economos is the only one that's working. His bridges have not been completely burned. He's not,
and he's still looking for like the same.
Yeah, he's still working for Argus. He's working for Project Argus.
Yeah.
And his job is to be surveillance on Peacemaker. You know, he's there because, and he recognizes that Rick Flag knows that he killed, you know, that Peacemaker killed Rick Flag Jr. And he's just waiting for him to fuck up so he can take him in. Which, unfortunately, Chris has been on the up and up, but still. And then Adebayo she's unemployed because of the fact that she outed her mom. Her mom has kind of blacklisted her, and to the point where she can't get work anywhere. And she's broken up with her or she's on a break or whatever you want to call it, separated from her wife because
and her dogs.
And why? Because in Peacemaker season 1, she found out that she is built for this shit, and now she's kind of feeling herself, and she's like, why can't you accept me as I am rather than what I thought I was? So they're all on a kind of a character journey that's they're all on similar paths. That's what I'm trying to say. They're just at different points of it. Chris, ironically, is the more advanced and mature.
Further,
which
yeah.
is weird because in the first one, he's the most fucking childish person in the whole show. Besides, you know, Vigilante, who also, he clearly is exactly the same as he was before. So we don't get enough of him either. I get it. It's the first episode.
But it's also a very, very absurd sequence where he calls another guy.
It is so
keeps talking about holes.
It's so vigilante. I love that. Look, this is a setup episode, so there's not going to be a ton of we just need to know where everybody is. You know, we don't even know. We know that probably, he's going to be, you know, AWOL because he's in the other dimension, but we don't really know what the underlying actual conflict is yet. We're just kind of seeing where everybody is. And as far as that goes, I enjoyed it. James Gunn knows how to write these characters. He knows, you can tell he knows these characters now. First season, he was getting to know them. He was letting them he knows these characters now. He knows where they are. He knows how to push their buttons. He knows where to put, you know, the stresses on them. Because remember, they're the 11th Street kids. But it doesn't seem like they've been a group. Right? Peacemaker's basically imposing his presence on Hardcore. Like, she's been kind of ghosting him. But she doesn't want him to be around, but she doesn't want him to be around. The only people who are really kind of like, you know, clicking right now are the two people in the first season who had the strongest tie, which are Adebayo and Chris. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. I think this is a great first episode.
Great character work.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And dialogues again.
Yeah.
Aside from being ridiculous, I love how they are very realistic.
Yeah.
This is exactly how people talk sometimes.
I can see, I see the foreshadowing of them coming back together as a group. I'm seeing the strings that are going to pull them back together, and it's going to be like they never left. They're going to be like, why haven't we done this? Why have we been apart? We've been in our own heads and our own shit and whatever. The only thing I will say, this is not a negative. This is just a not. I don't even want to say a criticism. It's just not the opening dance sequence. It's look, y'all. You just the first season. It's just iconic. You're never gonna remake that. It's kind of like when you watch.
It's the music.
It's the mute, but it's just not. Age of Ultron. Remember Age of Ultron? Why? Like how? What the fuck does it have to do with this? Remember in Age of Ultron? There's that scene in Sokovia, the floating Sokovia. All the Ultron bots are around, and then Joss Whedon's like, "Let's do this," and he does that slow mo wraparound bit where they're fighting the things, and I was like, "That's cool." But you were just trying to do that little scene from the first Avengers where they beat stuff up and then they do a wraparound and Hulk goes, ah, right? I feel the same energy here. Y'all are trying to get the same pop as the first season, and it's not going to happen. It's not as good. I'm not going to skip it. I'm not saying I'm going to skip it. But that first season, that was a moment. Like, you got to understand, like, you watched it, years after the fact in preparation for this show, this season. At the time, it was a fucking cultural moment among nerds, among comic book nerds. We were talking about it for weeks. You probably even saw it on X or whatever.
I did.
At the time. So, but I don't think, no one's talking about it like this. No one's talking about this one. And I'm
Well, it's definitely like the music that is a little bit offbeat with the movement. So they could have done it better. They could have brought some more banging track
yeah, just like
to this. And the episode itself had pretty great music, but like the opening sequence is just not as memorable. And maybe it's because like I know this song from years ago, from the first season. I know it from years ago, but I don't know. It's just a different feel.
Yeah, it's not as good, but it's still good. So I'm not gonna skip it. It's just not.
Well, Eagle is still hilarious.
Yeah, and everybody is bad. Did you? I'm not saying they're all. Actually, I will give this. Jennifer Holland, she's hitting her mark. She's doing her thing. But the fact that she is it. You notice other people like not right. Like there, you notice other people not quite doing it, and it's and they were like, some of them were like, we tried much harder in this season. And I'm like, did you? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Also, shout out Jennifer Holland and Steve Agee. I really liked them in this. I like Economos anyway. Jennifer, if I have to say anyone's a standout in this episode, a real standout, Jennifer Holland she kicked ass in this. She kicked ass. She had a lot of cool, like the damn near breaking her, knuckles on the dashboard.
Steering wheel. Oh
yeah, that part. She looked good. She moved well. She did everything right. I'm not saying James Gunn was intentionally highlighting his wife, but like, was he? Yeah, I feel well, maybe, but I'm not mad about it. I thought she was great.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think her aesthetic is so good. Like there's almost a Sarah Connor aspect to her. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? Like the Sarah Connor for Terminator 2. There's a bit of a Sarah Connor.
No, I don't like Terminator.
Well, you know what?
We're not going to be talking about that.
You know what? Let's not start stuff.
We're not going to be talking about
start stuff. But she has a bit of that Sarah Connor aesthetic to her, even down to the black tank top and like, just kind of a chip on her shoulder. And I think it's really well portrayed. So I could go on. I like the episode. I think it's great. I'm ready for the rest of the season to proceed. I love that they didn't drop 3 episodes. I love that they said, nope, week to week to week. Thank you. 8, we get 2 months of this. Good. Do your thing. Y'all keep cooking over at DC Studios. I'm excited as shit for the rest of the DCU. Anyway, I could say more. I'm not going to belabor it. This is good. I think that's all of our thoughts on that. So that means that we are at the end of all of our news. But you know what? Maybe we forgot something. Maybe you want to tell us something cool. troll us, whatever the case may be. You know what to do. Get down there to the comment section, leave your thoughts. And of course, you can always hit me up. It's oh, of course I didn't do it. I forgot to put the thing on it. Oh well. Super Not Funny Show. Let me see. Maybe I did it right here. Here it is. Super Not Funny Show at gmail.com. Blurred_Force1 on Instagram and Threads. And while you're doing that, go down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see all of the content that we make on Blurred Force 1. And of course, can't do this by myself. I needed my good friend Polly to come and talk about all of this Peacemaker stuff, and I guess dunk on Chris Pratt. So where can they reach you on social media?
As always, it's core_mixed on Threads, on Tumblr, and on Instagram.
Yeah, you guys go check that out and show her some love. So this is a long episode, but it's all good because we were talking about good things. This is episode 194 of the Supercast. Next week, obviously, we're going to talk about Peacemaker season 2, episode 2. We are also, if time permitting, meaning if we can watch the damn episode before we start our podcast, we are also going to talk about the comic shop, as I mentioned earlier, and all of the other news that has come out this coming week. So until then, I've been Mo, your comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by my good friend Polly, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.